the progressive left that I would say that I'm no longer a part of. Right? I'm not a progressive is too weak. It's too milquetoast, compromise, work within the system shit. Right? Not done with if we're gonna do anything, we need to be done with that. Right? Because the fucking world's ending. But I am also wary of, right-wingers in socialist clothing, because while everybody likes to invent new terms for them, like fucking, Nos bowls and
MAGA communists.
Yeah, and caps and all this other bullshit. It's like, no, they're Nazis. Okay, they're fascists, right? Yeah. They're just fascists. That's what fascists do.
And cap that's more like a libertarian thing.
Fascism, all of it.
Yeah.
Right? All of it, varying degrees and stripes, and you can call it whatever you like, but it's fascism, and that's the end, and we should stop arguing about that at all costs. For a little bit of socialism for certain people in the metropole and in the imperial core, and then fuck you, die to everyone else, that is fascism, and that's what a lot of whatever. So anyway. That leads me to the first thing that I wanted to talk about today, which is a little program called The Circus. Have you heard of The Circus?
Yeah, I think you told me a little bit about it. Is it HBO or Showtime or something?
It's on Showtime. It started as the reason why I even know what the fuck it is, okay, is because in 2016 when Trump won, they made a documentary that was like compilation footage from the first season of The Circus. Okay, so I watched that, and I was like, oh shit, because I'm a fucking, I'm a dork, dude, fucking politics dweeb, always have been. And I was like, oh shit, there's a whole season of television that leads up to Trump winning. Because that was the thing that all of 2017 or whatever was me going like, who saw this coming? Matt Taibbi? I have his book about it over there somewhere. And then this show, right? Where I watched the show and it's the most centrist libs you can fucking possibly imagine. One of them got me too, and he's gone. Where they're on the ground and they're pushing for Hillary and blah, 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 blah. But at the exact same time, it's well, we kind of can't deny that Trump is number one, the only person who we've spoken to out of the two presidential candidates. Trump and Bernie, I mean, right? Those are the two people that if you stand in a fucking, in the line while they're leaving and you yell something, they'll talk to you, Mm-hmm. Hillary never did that once, right? So that's a bad sign already, mm-hmm. right?
I don't think Trump would do that even now.
Yeah, he did it then.
Even now that he's running again. But yeah, I get that.
He did it then because he knew that that's the way how you have to do this, right? And
he's a dumb fucking moron. But
he's a showbiz guy.
He knows the biz of show business, and he knows that politics is show business, and that's the part that he's good at. It's the showbiz part of politics.
And Hillary thinks that politics is politics, and she's good at the politics part of politics. And
yeah, I guess
like in the sense that like the backroom deal sort of, that kind of shit. She's good at that kind of shit.
Okay.
I've watched enough, believe me, in my lib days, I watched enough fucking documentaries about Bill Clinton to know that Hillary Clinton was the brains behind a lot of that shit. Right?
Oh, okay.
It's like she's the power hungry psycho behind the man. Right, who's just like, oh shucks, well, I'm a pretty smart guy. I think I could do it. Right, and she's like, you will do it. Right, but anyway,
which one ate babies first? Do you think?
Hillary, 100%. But anyway, okay, so there's 8 seasons of the circus. Okay, because I've gotten and lost Showtime over and over again since 2017. Okay, and I tried to pick up back at the circus in, like a couple years later. I was like, holy shit, they're still doing this. And it was like the most like it was like primary season in 20 fucking or in 2019 or some shit. It was like a total off year. Who gives a fuck? Like whatever, you know what I mean? It wasn't any of the interesting parts. And so I was like, okay, fuck this, right? But recently I was like, oh, they've just recently started a new season. And the first episode made me fucking chew my fingers off. I have no more fingers because of this, okay? Because this is what the first episode was. It was 90% Biden is going to Ukraine. There is a war in Ukraine, and Biden is going there. This would be like, this is a direct quote, this would be like if FDR went to London during the Blitz.
What the fuck?
And I was like, huh? We are not involved in this like that. Number one. Number two, no.
Well, I mean, I guess at the beginning of World War II, we were not involved. And it was a European war then. So I guess, but that war is not on the same magnitude. It's not going to be
stretch, to say the least. Okay, and they're blowing it like this is the most historic thing that Biden will ever do, and blah blah blah. Like they're going on and on and on about it. They're sucking his dick really hard. Okay, this, by the way, this panel includes one of the original guy that didn't get Me Too'd, who I think had his own news organization for a little while, and then it fucking ate shit, just like all the other upstart news organizations that happened in 2016.
Now they're writing the
Then
Substack.
there's a guy that wears a cowboy hat all the time who worked for the Bush administration. Okay, and he is the Never Trump Republican.
Oh, I love those guys.
You think they don't exist, but there's one here. Okay.
No, they exist. They're fucking weird.
Well, no, it's like they're all to a person. Okay, they are all people who worked for the Bushes. Every single Never Trump Republican worked for a Bush administration at some point. If it was Jeb, if it was W, if it was HW, all of them, literally all of them. Okay, every single one of them. So that's vomit inducing. Okay, to hear fucking a W Bush guy who is like, well, people disagreed about the war in Iraq, but one thing they didn't disagree on was the president going and visiting troops during wartime. And I'm like, those fucking two things aren't the same at all. He's going to visit Ukrainians in Ukraine. What? And because this is what they were trying to do. Okay. And if it had worked, if it wasn't just me and like 3 other people watching this, it would have worked, right? Which is that Biden is doing this historic bullshit in Ukraine. But meanwhile, Republicans are back home turning that train disaster in East Palestine, Ohio, into politics. And how dare they go to the fucking place where the train derailment happened to fucking tell those people that the government isn't there for them because they're not. Because Biden is in fucking Ukraine and Pete's not there. Right? It's like, they're right.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
was it, the fucking EPA? They just said, all right, well, Norfolk Southern, you're in charge of cleaning this up.
And
we'll see how fucking
the
well.
The water's safe, it's all fine.
And they get to pick who tests everything. So Norfolk Southern is now deciding who is testing the soil, who's testing the air, who's testing the water.
I haven't been keeping up. There's more to that, though. I know.
Yeah.
Because people have been freaking out. Because there's been more Norfolk Southern trains that have derailed since the last time we talked, and before the last time we talked,
what
and
the fuck are the Democrats doing right now? Why are they not writing a big infrastructure save the fucking towns bill or whatever the fuck? Every train has to have new brakes. Every fucking rails have to be inspected and updated. Like, what the fuck?
It's dude? Like, give the railroad companies an ultimatum, right? Here's your ultimatum, railroad companies. Either you will be nationalized.
Well, they're not going to do that.
1 minute after we. This is the ultimatum, right? Either you will be nationalized the second that this gavel is hit, okay? Or you will fix everything to our specifications, right? Exactly how we tell you to, right? And if you don't, whap, you're nationalized, the end, right? Like, that's what the fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was in charge, if I was...
It's a layup.
But honestly, if they could just fucking get their shit together and just pass a bill, I'm sure they could get some Republicans maybe even to vote for it just to look like they're fucking trying to do good or whatever. But just say, fuck, we need fucking brakes on these fucking trains. You know, like...
We need to fix the railroads.
I was looking at the train going through our city recently, and I was like, that train looks like it fucking just ran through a third world country for 20 years. And I was like, oh, we're basically already there. I mean, we're like, if we
certainly our railroad infrastructure.
If we didn't have so much fucking just capital going on at all times in this country, then we would be a third world country, because there's nothing else. There's literally nothing else keeping it afloat at all. And it's like just seeing this train, and then you look at trains in Europe and shit like that,
and they look
nothing. Yeah, and in fucking
China,
they look nothing like our trains. They look like they were built yesterday or 20 years in the future. Like, what the fuck? Why do we have these old trains that look like they were built literally 100 years ago?
Yeah.
And they're falling apart, and most of them are probably at least 30, 40, 50 years old.
And the brakes are from the Civil War.
Well, the type of brake was designed, you know, it's not like the brakes are that old. It's just that they
obviously the not that. I'm saying
it's the old school type of
fucking lever
like
that you pull. Yeah, Jesus. Like,
and it's, how fucking expensive is it to put some new fucking air brakes on that shit or whatever?
Somebody did the math about it that I listened to, and it's like an afternoon's profit. Right? Yeah. It's not even like, it's like $2 billion. And the train people make $27 billion a day or some shit. It's like it's like a lunch. Anyway.
Yeah, we could go on that forever.
The circus, okay? Yeah. This is the thing about the circus that I struggle to understand, because I know that it's the same on MSNBC. I know it's this. They're touting the same line that every fucking like lib MSNBC type place does, where it's like, we should all be coming together. You know, these MAGA Republicans are bad, and and Biden is good, right? Yeah. Good, not just like stopping the fucking fascist scrawl or whatever. Like, good, actively good, right? and I swear to God, I spent all of this morning just like pulling my hair out and screaming, and I desperately need to know who the fuck this is for, because it's certainly not for me. And
obviously it's for libs.
Or libs with Showtime that fucking are not watching the show, the fucking Everything Everywhere All at Once, or any of the entertainment that's there, right? It's just for fucking, like, it's like for, it's a program for CIA agents and retirees that still think they're hippies or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's shocking.
Wow. Now I kind of want to watch it. But I feel like I've seen stuff like that before, though. There's shows on a lot of the news channels where they do the, like, yeah, we're doing the both sides, but, you know, at the end of the day, we're going to steer the conversation towards the liberal, Democrat, good.
No, the centrists, we should all come together, conservative position. Right? Yeah. That's the real where it's at, because there's more people that work for the Bush administration involved in this show than there are. And then there's this fucking piece of shit that John Heilemann, that is a non-committal guy who just says fuck sometimes. So he's really cool. Oh God, it was making me sick to my stomach. I hate these people more. I hate them more. I hate them more than I hate the MAGA people, because the MAGA people, they think something and are after a goal.
Yeah, I mean, they at least, like, aren't, like, you know, they're not trying to say that George W. Bush was a far greater president than Trump, which, I mean, honestly,
he wasn't.
Yeah, he definitely was not.
He was a worse president, in fact.
I would say yes. The only thing that Trump, you could say, did was worse, maybe, was
culture shit.
Culture shit and the election fraud shit, and just, like, trying to rip us apart at the seams as a country, whereas Bush's shit that he did evil was more external. It fucked other people, but as a country, we could still say he's our president and we're doing fine right now.
Yeah, and he can walk
until
around
the economy collapses.
He can walk around with Obama and, like, pal around and paint pictures and fuck
all that.
God. Hold on, just real fast. Okay. So they played one clip from Meatball Ron. I'm going with Meatball Ron. That's fucking great. I love it.
I like Gay Ron.
He's, whatever. That's great too. Like fuck with him always. Yes. And as hard as possible, right? Like, go hard, go really hard. But they played a clip of him, and he was like, while Biden is over in Ukraine, worrying about their country and their borders, he is not worried about this country or its borders. Now, the border thing is fucking shut the fuck up, you idiot. But this country part, he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
Now, he's not being truthful. He doesn't give a fuck about this country, but he's right. And if I say that, if you fucking the sentence Meatball Ron is right about something comes out of my mouth, you are fucking up. You are fucking up. You're fucking up so hard.
Yeah.
God damn it. headline from the Miami Herald. After DeSantis tussle, Disney World will host a major summit on gay rights. Your bitch ass. Let me just go off a little bit. Ron DeSantis' bitch ass is the governor of Florida. That's all he fucking is.
Right.
Disney is a fucking world-spanning colossus. They put gay characters in. They put
Yeah.
Like,
they don't give a fuck.
They don't give a fuck, and they will do what the people want.
Yeah.
When it comes to their fucking movies and their shit, so that they can keep raping whoever the fuck they are raping, because I know they are doing it somewhere. But you think you can fuck with Disney, Ron? Meatball man, meatball man, meatball man, meatball man, meatball man, meatball man, meatball man.
I've got some breaking news.
Oh, God.
From Politico. Trump grand jury called off for Wednesday.
No, you don't fucking say. You can't arrest the grand president. You can't arrest an ex-president.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but
you can't.
Let me just read here. The Manhattan grand jury hearing evidence in the criminal investigation of Donald Trump's alleged role in a scheme of pay hush money to blah, 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 will not meet Wednesday as regularly scheduled, according to two people familiar with the matter.
Because they finished already.
The reason for the adjournment wasn't immediately clear. The grand jury typically meets Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, one of the people familiar with the matter said, and it heard from witnesses earlier this week. So I don't know. That could mean something or it could mean nothing. I thought it was going to mean, I don't know. It's one of those headlines that's
I'm going to do it now.
People are checking their news apps like, is he arrested yet?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to say another, I'm old. I'm kind of drunk.
All right.
I'm going to say another prediction here. This could turn out to be very similar to the prediction that I made about Ukraine before the war started.
Wait, what was your prediction?
That there wouldn't be a war in Ukraine.
Right. Because it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's fucking dumb.
But alas.
But this is different. Because my prediction here makes sense. Or whatever. Or never mind. My prediction here doesn't make sense in the sense that, like, you know, if there was any ex-president that could be arrested for anything, this is where it would happen. That's true. Because they ain't gonna pin nothing like that on anybody else except maybe Bill Clinton, which I was thinking about the other day. Like, if you wanted to get fucking hush money, fucking charges on campaign finance, blah, 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 you could get Bill Clinton on that shit. Absolutely. But they didn't care back then. But they're trying to get Trump on whatever, maybe. Or they're just trying to gin up news stories. I think that they're just trying to gin up fucking bullshit news stories because journalists suck.
Well,
and
maybe.
Okay. He will not be arrested ever. That is my grand prediction because I think that the liberal media and the failing New York Times, etc., know that the second that there is a picture of his ass in handcuffs, his approval rating will go up fucking by 25 points at least.
Maybe, but honestly, I don't think it would really change his approval rating at all. But
I do.
I think here's one thing that I did hear, and I don't have an article on it, or maybe I do actually.
Whatever.
Hang on.
Fuck the articles.
All right. Anyways, basically, the Georgia special investigation into Trump's trying to intimidate the Georgia official.
Oh, yeah. No,
Just find 11,000 votes. Apparently, they are getting close to pushing for an indictment.
Yeah, they're going to try to do it. All
so
right.
that one, honestly, that's what I feel like he should go down for.
That's what
the
he should
Stormy
go down for.
Daniels shit
He
is kind of
won't.
bullshit. I don't really give a fuck.
Don't give a fuck.
But I
He
think
won't go down for that either.
honestly, that just the fact that they have him on the phone saying, "I just need you to find 11,000 votes, or else there'd be major consequences for you."
Yeah.
But that's all. It's just no problem.
Well,
Like,
I think that they can't get him on that because that's political. And the second that you start arresting people for political crimes, that means that scrutiny is coming from the other party on you, whoever you are from the other party.
well, in other countries, political leaders get locked up for their crimes. And a lot of times it's for bullshit.
Bullshit.
Like, Lula or something.
Brazil, yes.
Yeah, but like the fucking, and I don't really
Or
know.
opposition leaders in X country, Y country, Z country.
But like Bolivia, when the Socialist Party took back over there,
Evo was locked up too.
Yeah.
He had to flee.
He had to flee, but the new president, I forget his name, he started...
The Marxist guy.
Yeah, he started prosecuting the fascist people who were in charge during the...
Yes,
Like
that is how politics should fucking work.
Because they killed protesters. And it's like, you can say, oh, this is political, but no, this is prosecuting someone who had power and used that power against protesters.
And it is a political